It's been almost 6 years since Flint, Michigan switched over its water supply source, making the city's water toxic. Since then, some residents have gotten sick, died from Legionnaire's disease, while others developed a range of illnesses that have impacted their quality of life.
New reporting from friend of the show, Jordan Chariton, details that not only did Michigan's governor know the Flint River was toxic much earlier than he claimed, his administration engaged in a multi-year effort to cover up that knowledge. Jordan is the CEO of Status Coup, and he joins us now via Skype. It's good to see you, Jordan.
Good to see you, Jordan.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Just lay out for the audience what you were able to uncover here.
Yeah, my partner Jen and I, we've been working on this for over a year. We found that Governor Snyder was warned in 2013, so we're talking a long time ago. That was 1 year before the water switch. He was warned that there were bacterial risks if the Flint River was used as a drinking source. There was carcinogen risk, which cancer-causing carcinogens, and it was allowed to proceed. We also learned that his statement to Congress that he first learned about the Legionella disease, which is the deadly water outbreak, in January 2016. Our reporting indicates he knew about it in October 2014, and his administration took pretty aggressive efforts to stop it from going public a few weeks before his re-election campaign.
Yeah, it's a great story here, Jordan, that you've uncovered. Tell us the implications for this. I mean, are there going to be criminal charges involved, investigations? What is your reporting spawned in terms of calls for investigations in the state of Michigan and federally?
You know, as you guys cover every day, as a journalist, I'm learning the hardest part isn't necessarily breaking the story. It's getting the national media to actually do something about it.
Right.
So right now, obviously, coronavirus, understandably, is the top story. But we haven't gotten a lot of pickup on this. And I wonder why, because the statute of limitations for felony misconduct in office charges, a lot of state officials were charged with misconduct in office. Those charges were eventually dismissed. It's a felony, and in Michigan, it's 6 years. The 6-year anniversary is this coming Saturday. The Attorney General has come out saying that statute doesn't particularly preclude them from more serious charges. For your audience, you might not know, but basically there was like a Robert Mueller in Flint, a special prosecutor for many years. He charged 15 officials with the state. A lot of our reporting indicates that he was building a case against Snyder. The new Attorney General, when she came in last year, a Democrat, by the way, fired him and his team and dropped all the charges. So remains to be seen if she's actually going to charge anyone.
Yeah. Well, and part of what you've uncovered, too, is an attempted cover-up. Just detail that part of the story as well.
Yeah, I've been to, when I was at the Young Turks and now at Status Coup, I've been to Flint so many times, so I've gotten to know the residents. And I kept hearing a name, Richard Baird, who is kind of like, I guess you could say, Governor Snyder's Rahm Emanuel, like right-hand man, so to speak. And he was the governor's top advisor, and he was going to Flint and kind of identifying the loudest residents, because like in any movement, there's the leaders. So one resident in particular, very sick, was having seizures from the water, memory loss, bad stuff. And at a town hall, he really popped off in 2017. He got removed by a police officer. A couple weeks later, he got media attention too. A couple weeks later, the governor's enforcer is in his living room with a Marine next to him, a state trooper, member from the health department, and kind of makes this miraculous offer. We're going to pay for your treatment, your medical treatment, paid for by the state. You're going to be our lead poster child, him and his ex-wife, remember Baird saying, but you can't talk about this. You can't tell anyone who's paying for it. You can't go to the media. And we found out that the governor's right-hand man made these kind of private deals, described to us as payoffs, with kind of loud Flint residents to kind of quiet them. They also tried to quiet and, in her words, punish Flint's former mayor. They were trying to get her to declare the water safe. When she wouldn't, they reneged on funding promises.
Wow.
I mean, this is such a crazy story. And I think the point that you're making is so important, which is that there are a lot of officials with a lot of culpability here. And let's outline this, Jordan. None of them have yet been brought to justice. There are no plans to bring anybody to justice. And is the water in Flint even still safe to drink right now?
That's the bonkers part, because, I don't know, I didn't go to journalism school, but I thought when you, prove stuff, things happen. So we proved also, 2 years ago, that Governor Snyder's environmental department was manipulating the water testing. We knocked on like 450, almost 500 doors in Flint. We found they were sending in environmental officials, running people's water right before collecting the tests. The EPA confirmed that's in violation of their testing. When I asked the EPA, "You're going to do anything about it?" They just gave me kind of a bumper sticker slogan or comment. So, the testing is better, but I go to Flint, Jen and I go to Flint all the time. People are still 6 years later getting rashes. People are still losing hair. The long-term damage of lead takes many years. I meet people all the time that are slowly, I hate to say it, dying. And it is connected to coronavirus. I mean, Genesee County, which Flint makes up the most of Genesee County, has 123 people have died as a result of coronavirus. That's a 9.8% death rate.
Wow.
Obviously, the people of Flint, I asked this before, the death count went up. What is the federal government doing for places like Flint that are already seriously immunocompromised? It's not just elderly that are most at risk. It's young people that have serious immunodeficiencies through no fault of their own. This whole primary has been Medicare for all. Why does Libby, Montana, which is 96% white, have Medicare for all snuck into Obamacare? They had a deadly asbestos incident many years ago. They have Medicare for all. Flint does not. Residents are scrapping just for any treatment. So a lot of people don't realize the Flint water crisis is not just about Flint. There's water problems and, most importantly, corruption leading to those water problems. A lot of these water problems are just privatization schemes gone terribly wrong. That's what happened in Flint. So I really hope, I don't want to blow up anyone too hard, but, I got Brian Stelter telling me privately this is a local story. I said I didn't know the biggest environmental cover-up of the 21st century was a local story. I love Michael Moore, but, we're still waiting for him on this, Rashida Tlaib. But, everyone's busy, obviously. But hopefully we could get some more exposure on this, because at the end of the day, if the media and, influencers and celebrities don't elevate clear-cut corruption, it continues. And obviously, I don't expect Trump to do anything about this, and I certainly, unless the fire is lit under their respective behinds, Democratic Party hasn't exactly been so active on Flint either.
Yeah, it's so true. And I really applaud you for staying on this story. I mean, an entire American city was poisoned. That's not just something, that's not just a local story, right? That's a national outrage and shame that we should all be paying attention to. At the same time, Jordan, we wanted to ask you about your health. You tested positive for coronavirus. How are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. I travel a lot, so I guess I'm more exposed to stuff. I took all the precautions, mask, gloves, and I still got it. It really, I'm lucky. I didn't have breathing problems, never a fever above 101. My girlfriend has been a saint. I mean, just tea constantly and taking care of me. But it's not mild. I mean, when people describe the mild, I mean, somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, it's just a bad cold." I mean, my chest hurts from coughing for 14 days. My back hurts from coughing for 14 days. Mentally, I don't think the mental component has been discussed. Obviously, people are dying. My situation isn't so bad, but it's tough to be, crammed up in a one-bedroom apartment, coughing your brains out for 15 days. And imagine the people have it worse than me with a higher fever that don't have money and are scared to go to the hospital. I was lucky I could go to the doctor because, thank you, Nancy Pelosi, I'm on Cobra 2 that you're going to cover.
Yeah.
So my situation has not been so terrible, but the cough is serious. And, I'm a little nervous because I think I'm hearing in South Korea, people have been infected and they recover and now coming back. So I think the experts are kind of figuring out the whole antibody thing. I'm hoping I don't get this again, but a lot of people who are taking precautions like I did are still getting it.
Well, we're certainly we're very happy to see you recovered, and more importantly, thank you so much for highlighting the story, staying on top of it. There are a lot of people who depend on that, and we'll elevate it to whatever lengths possible. Thank you for joining us, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. We really appreciate you.
And real quick, YouTube hides us in a cave. YouTube.com/Status Coup, COUP. Thank you.
There you go. Please,
check it out.
Everybody go subscribe.
Go subscribe.
Thanks,
Click
Jordan.
the bell. Thanks, Jordan.
Next on Rising is Elizabeth Warren on Biden's short list for VP. Should she be? Friend of the show, Ryan Grimm. He discusses when Rising continues.